Okay, so now that you cunts have me on the warpath, I've decided to let it come out. Right, so when I was in university, I learnt that there were two ways the body can digest food. Two totally different pathways of digestion. Okay? Now, yes, the body can handle carbohydrates and sugars, but it does so at a great disadvantage. So, carbohydrates and fructose, things like fructose, glucose, anything with the OSE go in a certain pathway. They go in different pathways. Fructose goes through the liver and gets broken down that way. I don't know a lot of details. You can look up different doctors. There are other people who know that stuff. Dr. Paul Mason is one of them. He's fucking brilliant. Look him up. Now, this knowledge has been out a long time. And so fructose goes in through the liver and causes fatty liver. Should I say that again? Fructose causes fatty liver. There's no such thing as non-alcohol fatty liver syndrome. It's all fructose fatty liver. Okay, it's all alcohol fatty liver because fruit ferments in your stomach because it's not meant to be in there. Which is what happened to me when I went to Footscray Hospital, and they continuously coerced me to drink apple juice or orange juice, and then said, oh, your sugar's going up and down. Oh, you're having problems. No fucking kidding. That is medical abuse. It's called battery. It's a fucking criminal offense. It's also a criminal offense of genocide. So, the other way the body can digest is through the other cycle, which is through animal fat, like tallow, for example. And sorry, I forgot about continuing with the sugar. With the sugar, all kinds of sugar, but glucose, sucrose, etc. Sucrose is made up of half fructose and half glucose. So it's going to damage your liver and it's going to activate insulin. Now, diabetes is sort of called sort of insulin resistance. It's not. It's overloaded insulin where the body stops responding to insulin and you get sugar overload. And the reason for that, because there's not one kind of sugar, and the reason for that is because the body, while the body can use sugar, it's not its preferred energy. And the body works on mass of fat. Your brain works on fat. Your entire nervous system works on fat. Your body can make water out of fat. Yeah, I let that sink in for a second. Okay? So, you only have to look up Professor Tim Noakes And you'll find out very quickly that he won a case a long time ago about this. So every nutrition, and you'll find about 10 other doctors very easily on the internet who are along the same lineage and know that stuff. Everyone else, or the majority of other people, they know about the two different pathways, and they deliberately tell you don't eat fat. So we get MS, we get all these other diseases. Now, that's genocide, according to the United Nations Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, Articles 2 to 4. And the ministers, the Prime Minister, the Ministers of Health, the Ministers of Mental Health now, which isn't a thing, by the way, it should be psychological health. So I want those departments changed to departments of psychological health, because it's not mental health. You're not allowed to adjust our thinking, because that's what mens rea is. It's thinking. The thinking behind a crime. And your mens rea is filthy fucking dirty. So health ministers and mental health ministers need to be arrested immediately, and so do the education ministers, because they're teaching lies to our people, and then our people are killing each other in the schools, educating them, schooling them. Every fucking school and university in this country need to be rounded up and fucking arrested for poisoning an entire population. You hearing me, Victoria Police? You hearing me, AFP? Everybody who is teaching nutrition right now, who is not teaching what I just said, needs to be rounded up, arrested, and fucking pay for their crimes. Every one of them. All the cookery teachers who are not teaching that, who are telling you to not have fat in your diet, they're killing you. They're making you sick. They're making you reliant on a medical system that wants money from you and doesn't give a shit about your health. Now, I had a really good social worker once, by accident actually, just happened. And he told me I should open up and start talking. And I tried that, and because it wasn't on the public record, I got put in hospital a few fucking times. I got told my people don't exist. Well, where do you get all your fucking money from, assholes? Where do you get your money from? What the fuck do you think I am? A fucking spectre? Now, this piece of shit went into the courtroom last week and brought up the word faggot. That I said faggot. Do you know what a faggot is? Now, we use it to say sticks, because faggot, faggot of wood. But it's actually a fucking ball of meat. Okay? I'm English. Well, I'm quarter English. Okay? In background. I've got background in English. I've told you. I've got background in English law in my family lineages. I've shown you that. Uncle Thomas. That's one of them. And I got relegated to fucking primary school education. I should have been in law. And I was fucking good at it. And if I could fucking think straight, and I didn't get abused into having disabilities so much all my life, I would have been in law. And I would have been fucking good at it. And I probably would have been a justice. Simply because that's the way it's going. Because in judges, we had female judges. So that's completely okay. So all these Thomas Sewells and fucking Jacob who's Teutonic, not... See, this is the thing. Everybody's saying the Anglo-Saxons. We're not fucking Anglo-Saxons. Her scent is a fucking Teutonic. It's a two-tone. Fucking idiot. Anyway, whatever. I don't believe you. Dude, I only have to look you up and find out, and you'll fucking know exactly where you're from. Now, fucking hell, I think we're the last of the fucking generations that have any intellect whatsoever. Right, so I forgot what I was talking about. I've just woken up and I'm really pissed off. So a faggot is a ball of meat. It's actually a ball of a combination of types of pig offal. And people are like, ooh, pig offal. But, you know, you eat nose to tail in general. And what you didn't eat got given to the dogs, for example, because they are carnivores, the same as we are. And the reason we can adapt and use other foods is because many years ago, long time ago, we were in nature. Apparently, I don't know, because our story, our authorized King James Bible, sort of only says we've been around for 6 to 7 millennia. But in nature, potentially, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to be literal about anything or whatever. Apparently, a long time ago, we were eating the OSes, like the cellulose and the glucose and the fructose and all of that. But we didn't, we somehow diverged, apparently. Like, I don't believe that. I believe that we've always been this way. But we have double abilities, so we have mastery of everything. And we can survive any fucking where. Right? We can survive on mostly plant matter. And we can survive on any diet of combinations. There's many combinations we can do. Now, veganism cannot provide you some of the B vitamins at all. Okay? Now, you've got these fucking food pyramids and everything that tell you, oh yeah, 2 fruits. You can have 2 fruits a day. Well, and then they don't tell you that pumpkin's fruit and capsicum's fruit and fucking tomatoes are fruit, eggplants are fruit. They don't tell you all this stuff. So you think, well, I'll have eggplant salad, and I'll have fucking pumpkin soup, and then I'll have a little bunch of grapes, and then I'll have an apple. That's not 2 fruit, that's 4, right? And I'll have some capsicum in my salad, and I'll have capsicum on my pizza. And so you end up with lots and lots of sugar in your blood system, and then your pancreas has to pump out the old insulin, and you wonder how you put on weight. And you wonder how all these fat people happen. All these fucking chubbers everywhere. I'm not thin. I'm not saying I'm innocent. I'm not thin, okay? I'm a chubber too. But I can walk for fucking hours and hours and hours. I just walk and walk. Okay, I have really strong legs heavy legs, because they're very muscly underneath. Because I've walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. And all the advice all my life was to eat a proper balanced diet, and it's put me at about 40 kilos overweight. So that didn't work, did it, Health Minister? And so when you're young, like when I was younger, I used to eat like a pig. I ate all the time. I ate yogurt and cheese and meat and a bit of fruit here and there, because I thought, well, I was told that was healthy. And vegetables, and I had to decide when I was at the poorest that I like vegetables. And then I discovered various people like Tim Noakes, Professor Tim Noakes, Professor Bart Kay, Dr. Paul Mason, there's heaps of them, Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Eric Westman, quite a lot of them, that say some of them are like low carb, high fat, that's better, that's fine, and some of them outright say carnivore is better, which they talk about animal products, they don't just say meat. So you could be cheese and meat or whatever, you know. But I've discovered a lot of the cheese now has non-animal rennet, so I don't choose to eat those ones. The ones that have non-animal rennet they're not healthy. So any of the cheeses that have non-animal rennet in them, the vegans and vegetarians like them, but they're not healthy. So anyone who's needing to be in carnivore predominantly shouldn't be touching non-animal rennet. So all those companies that are putting non-animal rennet in our cheese, they should also be arrested, because that's not healthy. And because we always used, I mean, it's genocide of our culture and our food, isn't it? So there's heaps of professionals out there. I'm going to keep this one short and on topic. I'm going to release a few of these. I think this is good. I think getting them out is going to be really good. So yeah, all the health ministers, all the people who run hospitals, all the people who run the universities, the education minister, mental health ministers, none of them told me that sugar would unbalance my psychological health. None of them told me that fructose would cause fatty liver. And of course, Footscray Hospital, they had me for a week. They had diagnosed various different things and poisoned me with a fucking mushroom-based medication, even though I said I can't have them. And some Asian bitch fucking registrar thinks that it was okay to genocide me like that, like the people in Royal Melbourne Hospital did too. So Footscray and Melbourne. And Mercy Hospital, I said there's no point to eating carbohydrates because there's nothing in them and all of this sort of thing. And so I don't want them on my plate. And the fucking dietitian decided, oh, we'll just give her a banana every meal. A banana every meal. And I'm 100 and something kilograms. That was malpractice. That woman should be arrested for attempted murder. That's genocidal, murderous behaviour. Victoria Police, you go and investigate that. And then also put rice on my plate, which is like fucking knives in my stomach. Thanks very much, bitch. And the kitchen refused to pay attention to my notes and continued giving me rice, potato, etc., which isn't food. It's not food. Like, it is not food. okay? I don't care what the Japanese think about rice. I don't care what Chinese think about rice. I don't care what Indians think about rice. Do you understand? It's not food. End of story. Ask Professor Tim Noakes. Ask Dr. Gary Fetke, who used to have to cut off limbs because there are too many diabetics and overweight people who are getting it from the health minister and all the Minister of Education and all the health under him, or her, rather, one or the other, both. And everybody, every single person in those universities, schools and otherwise that is teaching that diabetics can have any kinds of sugars in their world need to be rounded up and arrested for genocide of a population. All the way back as far as you can go in history. Anyone who's still living, they all need to be rounded up, arrested and tried for their crimes. This has been out for a long time. Dr. Gary Fetke has been out talking for a long time, and he was barred by the medical profession from talking. Oh, they attacked him. They really tried to attack him and get rid of his career. He's one of the smartest men alive who knows about nutrition, and he's an orthopedic surgeon. And he knows more about nutrition. Or, actually, no, I wouldn't say more about nutrition, but he was awake, right? And his wife, Belinda Fetke, went and found out that the nutrition, like the veganism and the vegetarianism, and the lilt towards veganism and vegetarianism and stopping animal products and all of this, is actually a religious dogma of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So every vegan on the planet, on the earth, right? Every vegan and every vegetarian is a Seventh-day Adventist propagandist against our people, genociding themselves and us, all of us. So everyone who promotes Kellogg's and all of this shit, that's not food, by the way, you need to know now that the reason for that is because the Seventh-day Adventists believe that, or did, and Kellogg's was one of them, he followed them, right? So they believe that if having a bland food for breakfast would stop young men from masturbating, because it was such a boring food, it would tone them down. So instead of having meat, like a steak and eggs for breakfast, they would have this cereal, sweet cereal. And the problem with all cereal is all of it is sweet. Even the bran flakes and shit like that is not built for our body. Okay, so that food is not food. There's shelves of it everywhere. All the shops sell it that have food in them. Like obviously not the butcher, but the regular shops are making a killing, a literal killing as well, of the entire population that touch it. So when I go to the shop, I look at the shop shelves and I think, holy shit, there is almost nothing of food item in here. Almost nothing. I do sometimes find bits of meat and bits of cheese, but a lot of them have non-animal rennet in them, the cheeses. And a lot of the meat has soy in them, and soy is a poison. So all the companies that have soy in them are going to start finding me being very honest and going through with my little camera and filming those little snippets and putting them up. I think it's my duty to start exposing the reality. You have a big job now, the AFP, because you've just been told some really big information. So those health ministers and all of the teachers under them, the mental health ministers and all the teachers under them, and the education ministers and all the teachers under them, all of those people need to be arrested and made to account for what they're doing, poisoning a population, genocide of an entire population, and all the forced medical procedures that result from that. So now you go into all the hospitals and you arrest all the people cutting out gallbladders and all the people operating on livers, cutting bits of livers out, and all the people going in and talking to anybody about diabetes. So now you go into the medical, pharmaceutical businesses and you got to go in there and you got to start arresting them as well, because they're genociding us with poisons when the solution was not to have sugar in the first place. Because the reason your brain works on glucose is not because it's the preferred energy, it's because it wants to get it out of the blood as quickly as possible. So it has to use it. But it's damaging the brain, because the only thing that builds the brain is fat. Cholesterol is what builds the brain and the nervous system. Cholesterol, that thing that the supposed medical team in Royal Melbourne Hospital tried to give me statins for, because I had high cholesterol. I'm meant to have high cholesterol, Royal Melbourne Hospital. So the doctor who advised that he wanted to put me on statins and recorded that in the discharge paper needs to be arrested today, so that he doesn't give statins to our people and destroy their brains and nervous systems with statins that are poisonous. These are really big crimes, aren't they? Attempted murder, attempted maiming of our people, giving them statins. So there's a lot to chew on, isn't there? I've got a lot to say, a lot of stuff I haven't talked about. But I think it's time to open my mouth. And so thank you to John Mullane, who's now a retired senior clinician who was a social worker, and gave me a lot of advice on speaking up and to... He was a brilliant guy, man. He's still going somewhere. I can't thank him enough, because when I went to hospital and they gave me the wrong advice, man, imagine telling someone, I don't eat carbohydrates because there's no use to them, and they fill your fucking plate with them. That's poisoning, isn't it? That's something designed to bring about my destruction, isn't it? When I said I can't eat those, and you put them on the plate. And so then I have to order pizza instead of eating your food, because I can't eat your food, because I don't really want to die. And a year and a half later, I had some gallstones. Mercy Hospital caused me to have gallstones. Because there was no fat in the diet that they served up. So my gallbladder didn't fire. And it's quite disappointing, isn't it? So then they tried to force me into a forced medical procedure to have the gallbladder cut out. but they couldn't answer one question. And here's the question. How do you rehabilitate a gallbladder? Footscray Hospital. How do you rehabilitate a gallbladder? Because you're not cutting it out. I've told you that. But you still attempted to force medical procedure. You still had an Asian registrar threatening me that if I don't have the gallbladder cut out, I could end up on a respirator. And I haven't been on a respirator yet. And that was 2022, 2023. So, do you know why I didn't have any liver problems Royal Melbourne Hospital when it got to 2024, 2025? It's because I wasn't eating any fruit. That's why I don't have any liver problems anymore. I had them when I was in Footscray, because you were forcing me to have fucking fruit juice. And I'm struggling and telling you, all I need is bed rest. You don't need a cannula. You don't need to poison me. You just need to let me have some bed rest and rehydrate me, and I'll be on my way. And I got called aggressive and abusive because I was quite annoyed that they didn't listen. And they forced having a forced medical procedure, putting a cannula back in my arm, after I said I removed my consent. You had no consent, Footscray Hospital. You medically battered me. That is a crime. Forced medical procedures. An Indian guy insisted on one more blood test, one more this, one more that, and then tried to diagnose a bit more so they could do a bit more to me, a bit more medical torture, a bit more medical torture. Let's just do another bit more medical torture. Let's just psychologically abuse the white girl. Let's just racially abuse a white person in our own hospitals, which, by the way, are foreign military hospitals. They got nothing to do with us. They shouldn't even exist. They're just giant poison, maim and kill centers sat on our fucking land. And they deliberately fucking torture us. They have people who don't know what they're fucking doing accidentally, close quote, chopping out people's fucking kidneys by accident and fucking... One woman, oh, I lost my kidney. No, sweetie. They chopped your kidney out. Okay, they butchered you. They're butchering our people. These fucking university pieces of shit. And females, get the fuck out of our hospitals. Get the fuck out of our fucking surgeries. You're not capable of looking after people. We don't want female fucking surgeons. Because you're all a bunch of fucking stupid bitches. Get out. We don't want you in there. You know why? Because you psychologically manipulate other women and destroy their bloody bodies. We don't want your mistakes in our hospitals. Okay? So go home and do your fucking home duties. Right? Because if you can't fucking treat people right when they're saying no to surgery, then you can't be in our fucking hospitals. So the two registrars at Footscray Hospital that attended me, both of you attempting to coerce forced medical procedures, you need to be sacked and put in front of a courtroom by the police for forced medical procedure and attempted forced medical procedure. And your duty remains intact because you're sitting there in a hospital chopping people up. And you need to... Fuck, I wish I had their names on me. I'd name the fucking bitches, both of them. You need to fucking When someone says, how do you rehabilitate a gallbladder, let me tell you, I don't even have a medical degree. I've got a science degree. The way you rehabilitate a gallbladder is you eat animal fat each day. And then the gallbladder fires and spits out all the bile and it clears itself out. You might not pass the stones. They might be permanent. Yes, that's true. So you've got to be careful for the rest of your life. You've got to stay hydrated. You've got to eat fat every day. All of this sort of thing. And don't fill up with don't fill up with plant materials, because then you can't have the animal fats, because the animal fats throughout the meat. So lean cuts are a bad idea. Lean cuts are really, really bad idea. You need fatty cuts, because you need the fat to go through your gallbladder, so your gallbladder can fire. So you don't, you got to do it every day, forever, every day. That's how you rehabilitate a gallbladder. Like I said, you might not pass the stones, that might not be, but you don't have to chop out my gallbladder. But Footscray Hospital couldn't figure that out. How difficult is that? There's only one thing the gallbladder does, and every other muscle in the body you got to use it or lose it, don't you? So why is it different for the gallbladder? It doesn't make sense, does it? So, the medical people are not educating anybody. The advice to prevent gallbladder issues is eat fatty beef every day and you won't have a problem. How hard can that be? Now they want to destroy our cattle. They want to stop us having farms so that we can't have our meat. And it's not about we want meat and we like the slaughter and all that shit. That's just bullshit. That's just fucking gaslighting, psychological abuse, isn't it? So that's my rant about the health. So they lie to us. So all those health ministers out there, all the previous health ministers that have been out there, all the mental health ones that have been and gone, all the education ministers right now, and all the ones that have been and gone, they need to all be rounded up and arrested for genocidal behaviour, forced medical procedures, false education on nutrition. There's a whole heap of things you need to arrest them for. And every premier who they've been under also needs to be arrested, because they're in command line authority. And that's in Victoria and the Commonwealth governments. All of them who didn't speak up about it and fix that problem, they all also need to be rounded up, arrested, and put on trial for that. Wow, I'm on a roll, aren't I? So now it's public, isn't it? I'm an example of that, aren't I? And the High Court hasn't answered me yet. I'm hoping they answer me this week, because I need to go into the High Court. The full registrar's too chicken to fucking talk to me. I should ring up the High Court and start bringing them out. So, Premier Jacinta Allen's resigned, hey? I guess that has nothing to do with me saying anything to her. Like apartheid, medical abuse and torture, asking for a bit of Crown land through DECA and the housing department. They can't be bothered fucking collaborating. So I'm still sitting here being psychosexually abused by people who abuse their kid. It's funny. It would be funny if it wasn't serious, you know what I'm saying? The fish rots from the head down. That's all I can say. All the ministers who are giving out health advice that isn't what I've told you in this video, and all the industry that's promulgating bullshit. Look, I'm not saying don't eat bread. I'm saying you need to know the repercussions of doing so. I like potatoes or bread, whatever, but the fact is, you can only consume so much before you tip your digestion in the wrong direction. And, how many people are teaching that you should neutralize your stomach acid and you want to be less acidic, so you want a higher pH? No, you want your pH low, low, low. What you don't see, they don't tell you this in biology. That's part of education, isn't it? Sciences. They don't tell you you're a strict carnivore, do they? That you're the apex predator on the earth. You are the super carnivores. But you're capable of eating plant matter if needed. They haven't told you that, have they? All the health advice is upside down and backwards. Okay? The reason dog and man are best friends is because they're both predators. They're both man is apex predator. We can kill and eat anything we want on this planet. That's why orcas don't kill us and don't tend to do anything to us out in the open ocean. Because they're smart enough to know, fuck, we're not going near that. They'll just kill our whole pod. They'll eat us. They're not stupid. So, other apex predators are, I don't know what else is an apex predator. When I say, I suppose orcas in the ocean are somewhat of an apex predator, but they're not sort of like us. We can eat anything on the earth, anything. Any animal we can catch. Any animal, any living thing we can catch. So, and we know how to grow things as well. We can master everything. Poor orcas are like, what the fuck, we're not touching that. They'll fucking wipe us out. They'll eat us all. So, I think that's enough. Well, that's my little thing today. So, what are we doing? That's it. Alright, I'm gonna go. Have a good day.